The Kentucky Wildcats fighting to salvage the second half of their conference season. It'll be a tough task tonight, taking on the #1 team in the nation, South Carolina. As we welcome you courtside. Hey everybody, Ryan Rugo alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. So happy to be with you this Thursday night on ESPN. South Carolina certainly has plenty of talent, but none shining brighter than right now the favorite for National Player of the Year, Aaliyah Boston.
Certainly, we will start by talking about the best player on the best team in the country. 17 points, just under 12 rebounds a game. She's a menace offensively and defensively. 3 blocks a game, gets to the offensive glass, can score on multiple defenders, a willing and capable passer as well. Aaliyah Boston getting it all done, the junior for South Carolina.
In the first meeting between these teams, the South Carolina win. Boston put up 18, 15, and 5 for 5 blocks and 9 of 12 shooting. Meanwhile, for Kentucky, they are led by the prospective #1 pick in the WNBA draft.
One of the most talented offensive players in the country. At 6'2", she's got guard skills. She is terrific in the 2-man game. Has a pull-up, has good range on her 3-point shot. Undoubtedly the leader for Kentucky. She needs to really bring it tonight.
You see Ryan Howard's draft grades, A+ across the board, and she currently is projected to go #1 in our ESPN mock draft. Let's check in now with the third member of our broadcast team, Andrea Carter.
Thanks, Ryan. Well, as talented as Ryan Howard is, if Kentucky wants to get the win tonight, it is going to take team defense. That's what I have my eyes on with the Wildcats. In their game on Sunday against Texas A&M, they had lapses on defense in regard to their effort and their focus. And here is what it looks like. Ryan Howard guarding Kayla Wells for Texas A&M. She's too far away. She should be right behind Kayla Wells, locking and trailing. She is late, needs help. Now, what should happen here? Emma King should drop. And on the backside, it should be an aggressive closeout from Jasmine Massengale on Jordan Nixon. Neither of those two things happen. Ends up being a 3-pointer for Jordan Nixon. South Carolina is too talented to have lapses in focus and effort for Kentucky on defense.
Kentucky led by Kyra Elzy in her second season at the helm. Last season 18-9. This season 9-10. It's been a struggle of late. She talked with us about the balance of the expectation of winning, but also trying to encourage her group. And of course, South Carolina led by Dawn Staley. Her team has held down the #1 spot in the AP poll for 14 straight weeks. Dawn, one of 6 active head coaches with a national championship, as South Carolina wins the tip. And we are underway at Memorial Coliseum in Lexington, Kentucky.
You see Kentucky starting out in a man-to-man defense, and Dawn Staley told us she likes to try to get Zia Cook going early, runs the set for her.
And she got a good look, was rejected, but Saxton there for the follow. Take a look at the starting 5 for Kentucky, as Owens doesn't get the roll on the baseline jumper. Treasure Hunt, Jada Walker, Massengale with Owens and Ryan Howard. Howard, leading scorer in the SEC, over 20 points per game. Good footwork. Boston just couldn't finish it as Owens was able to hang.
Terrific patience by Aaliyah Boston, though, on that possession. Didn't get a great angle, but good pace.
Walker stormed in, couldn't finish, the freshman guard. Take a look at South Carolina's starting 5. Such great continuity from a group that was a whisker away from going to the national championship game a season ago, as Saxton again finishes on the interior.
The last possession offensively for Kentucky, you saw a missed layup. That plagued them in their first matchup against South Carolina. They were 8 for 21 for layups.
Walker kicks it out. A 3 from Hunt is airmailed. No looks for Ryan Howard thus far. That has been part of the problem for Kentucky as well, not getting offensive production outside of Howard, despite getting good looks because of the attention that Howard draws. Cook, step back jumper, off the mark, rebound, Owens, who nearly threw it away as Hunt able to grab it. Owens puts it down, gets rejected by Saxton.
Nice job, though, when the trap came on the on-ball screen. Kentucky did a good job of reading the right next pass. It just got blocked.
Really good hands from Jasmine Massengill. Howard gets rejected on the three-point attempt by Boston, and then a loose ball foul is going to go against Olivia Owens.
South Carolina, the best shot blocking team in the country, and Owens does a good job rolling, and Kentucky does a good job delivering, but Victoria Saxton right there defensively on the help side.
There's so many incredible numbers when you look at South Carolina's defense. We'll sprinkle them in throughout the broadcast, but just one of them, I mean, they have held 11 opponents this season under 30% from the floor. Just an astonishingly low number. And an astonishingly high amount of times to do it. You see the last 7 games. Look at that. South Carolina on average is holding opponents over the last 7 games to somewhere around 23, 24 points below their average, as Beal will have a chance for 3 with the layup plus the contact.
And South Carolina had that under out of bounds because they got to the offensive glass and got themselves a second look. And South Carolina likes to get Beal touches on their under out of bounds plays, and she delivers inside. Just a big bruising guard.
You know, just to go back to that graphic we just showed, Rebecca, I know one of the things you said when we first saw it was, you know, this isn't like a string of non-conference opponents early in the season. You're getting your feet under you, although South Carolina plays a very challenging non-conference schedule. But, I mean, they're just dominating good teams.
In one of the best conferences in the country.
Yeah. Finally ripped away, and it's going to be held ball. Kentucky has the possession arrow. I mean, you look at this. Kentucky held them 17 below their average. Texas A&M 26 below. Arkansas 24 below. Vanderbilt 33. Ole Miss 28. Florida 19. Alabama 21. Some quality teams in there. Some teams who were hot when they met South Carolina.
Just holding them 6, 8, 10 under. Like, it's ridiculous how far under their average.
And Kentucky 0 for 5 from the floor to begin this game.
Kentucky likes to run this. Get the ball into Dre Edwards' hands so she can bring Boston out of the paint.
Dre Edwards coming off the bench since she was suspended for disciplinary reasons. But she is one of their best 5. Make no mistake about it, as Howard knocks it out of bounds. South Carolina basketball.
In the last couple defensive possessions for South Carolina, what struck me is how on a string they are defensively, how their help side defense is right there. Such a contrast to what we saw from Andrea's draw at the beginning of the game, for where Kentucky can sometimes struggle defensively.
Here's Cook. Bouncing inside, Boston over 2, couldn't quite finish it. Saved by Saxton. Howard the effort, able to get it into the arms of Walker. Here's the freshman, Jada Walker. Edwards stops on a dime and puts it in. First bucket of the game for the Wildcats.
Really well done. When you're going against a shot blocker, you have to do something to get them off balance. It was just a quick stop, little head fake, and that was enough for Dre Edwards.
Edwards had a double-double in the loss in overtime Sunday against Texas A&M. Boston Euros couldn't pop it in, got it back and put it home. And Edwards grabbing at her right knee and help to her feet.
Dre Edwards is a post player who is very capable off the bounce, and she thinks she can take Boston right here. Stop. Ooh, nice. Just enough to get Boston off balance. And this said, ooh, she just landed straight on the kneecap. That hurts.
The former Pac-12 Freshman of the Year at Utah. Massengill works away from the hedge. Naya Leveretta into the game, laying it up too strong. Good D on the interior again from South Carolina. The down-court feed a little too strong. From Destiny Anderson will step aside An 8-2 lead for South Carolina. We're going to go beyond the bucket with the nation's best, Aaliyah Boston. That's next on our Thursday Showcase.
Aaliyah Boston, are you ready to go on a fast break with me?
Yes.
What are your game day superstitions?
I never wear my jersey before the game. I always come in early, before like the 40-minute mark, and I pray.
What is your guilty pleasure binge watch?
The Blacklist.
I love the Blacklist.
So good!
Yes.
So good!
Are you all caught up?
Yeah.
What is your favorite dance move and can we see it?
That's my one so far this year. You can hit it with me. Yes!
Do I have to get a little
yeah, you gotta
shimmy
shake
into it?
Yeah.
I'll work on it.
So, have you been working on it?
Oh, I have. I got a lot more shimmy in it now.
I mean, in addition to being supremely talented as Leveretter lays it in, Aaliyah Boston is just eminently likable. She's got such an infectious personality, and you see a little snippet of it there. I'm also just thrilled she named a TV show that you had watched, because that's
There's
like
so
a
few of
really,
them.
yeah. Needle in the haystack type stuff. She just happened to nail it. Fighting through traffic. Sonia Fegan gets held up. And, oh, here it is, pregame. Yeah, ready? Hey.
You can't, it's not, we're not seeing it until we're seeing it from over the top. But Ryan, the last defensive possession, Bree Beal did a phenomenal job on Ryan Howard. She defended her while Howard was posting up, and then she chased her coming off a staggered screen, and then there was an on-ball screen, and she fought through it. She is one of the best defenders in the country, and she, the last possession, showed all of that on one of the most skilled offensive players in the country.
Andrea?
Well, Rebecca, just to go off of that, one thing that was said in Kentucky's last huddle was, hey, if they're chasing Ryan Howard on the screens, screeners look to slip. Coach Elsie has been really specific in trying to get her players to read the defense and move with each other on the offensive end. Also in the huddle, Kentucky's very happy with their defensive effort, just need to box out, and Dre Edwards is good to go.
All right, good news all the way around, Andrea. Thank you for the update. You know, South Carolina without a couple key players in this game. Letitia Amihir, Camila Cardoso coming off a really strong game. They are both with their national teams preparing for FIBA this summer. So they are not available for this contest. That's why you're seeing early minutes from Sonia Fegan as well for South Carolina, as Boston flips it in, beating the shot clock, the poise from Aaliyah Boston.
And it started with her giving a big target. So her guard knew where to pass her the basketball at the high post. I love that. She just set her paw right out there, and once she got the ball, had patience making her move.
Deflected, someone lost a shoe. I believe it was Lily Grissett on the other end, poked out of bounds by Boston, and it's Kentucky basketball. Yeah. It's a good looking shoe though. Might need another one.
Just tie it up a little tighter. So right here, yeah, she puts her left hand out, give me the ball here. Look at this patience. Look at this patience, and just steps right through. It's an area where she has really grown.
Well, it was one of the things, as you see all South Carolina's points have been in the paint, and they just continue to offensive rebound at a ridiculous pace. One of the things that Aaliyah Boston talked about with us earlier this year, and Carolyn Peck as well as Holly, in regard to working with Tim Duncan, that patience and, you know, just having more poise in those sort of situations, and she has really taken that to heart, and we've seen it manifest on the floor throughout the season after working with Tim Duncan in the offseason. And a travel there as Kentucky turns it over.
Kentucky just really struggling to get good looks on the offensive end of the floor. Ryan Howard out of the ball game right now, shooting 2 for 10. I mean, a lot of teams struggle to get good looks against this South Carolina defense.
Sonia Fegan checks out for South Carolina. Bree Hall in, along with Lily Grissett. Sonia Rivers into the game with Henderson and Boston. Here's Henderson leaning in, couldn't get it to go. Of course, another offensive rebound. How about another for Boston? Just a menace on the interior.
She is just padding her stats on that one, Ryan.
8 second chance points for South Carolina already.
I mean, she's just relentless, and one of the reasons she has such good offensive rebounding position is because she knows how to use her body. So steps in, and just turns. And you know, if she had stayed looking over the right shoulder, she might not have gotten that ball, but she spun, got the defender or the offensive player on her backside. Just a tremendous job.
15 straight double-doubles for Leah Boston, the most over the last 20 seasons by an SEC player. Sylvia Fowles had 19 straight. Nice in transition, getting free. Bree Hall lays it in on a beautiful get ahead from Destiny Henderson. And a timeout taken by Kentucky. It's a 14-4 beginning for South Carolina.
South Carolina's bench has really come alive the last 4 games. Fresh legs, fresh energy, same result.
Coming up next on ESPN, number 3 Purdue takes on Michigan in a Big Ten matchup. The Boilermakers are tied at the top of the conference standings, while the Wolverines hoping to finish better than 500. Big Ten college basketball tonight, 9 Eastern on ESPN, streaming live on the ESPN app. How about the Michigan women?
They've been looking really good.
Really good. Nice set out of the timeout. And an easy finish for Olivia Owens.
That was the first uncontested look that Kentucky's had all game.
Owens couldn't quite handle the steal. Boston deep seal, turns, got smothered by Owens. Howard, nicely done, able to save it so effortlessly. Howard really glides out there. On the attack, Robin Benton got swallowed up, missed the last 5 games with an ankle injury. Good to see her back out there.
So you just come up and you set the on-ball screen, and you know that South Carolina is going to hard hedge or trap a great roll. It's the first time Kentucky's seen a clean lane all game.
By the way, just to go back to the offensive rebounding, you know, already 8 offensive rebounds in the quarter from South Carolina. They rebound 45% of their misses on the offensive end. I mean, that is a mind-blowing number. Howard connects on a long 2.
Ferocious in their attack on the offensive glass. Yeah, I mean, you can't take a possession off and not box out, because even if you do, there's a good chance South Carolina's going to get the old board.
Poked away by Benton. Howard's first field goal of the game. Kentucky, nice little burst of life at the end of the quarter to make it a 6-point contest. Boston gives it up. Hall gets it off in time and beats the buzzer. Bree Hall makes it a 16-8 South Carolina lead after 1.
Bree Hall showing some quickness. The freshman off the wrong foot, but still finishing. South Carolina by 6.
Well, March Madness is around the corner, and Dawn Staley's team is sitting pretty. 9 wins against the top 25 most in Division I basketball. They've been ranked number 1 every week of this season, and we are going to get the second rendition of the top 16 reveal at halftime tonight. Elle Duncan, Nikki Fargas, Carolyn Peck, and Charlie Cream in the studio to deliver that news to us. I think it's safe to say we know who's going to be number 1.
I think you're right. Who doesn't like a good reveal? And how about that? Nice job by Bree Beal. Another player showing patience, ball fake, finish, keeping the game simple.
An 18-8 South Carolina lead. All 18 points have come in the paint. They had 54 in the paint in the first meeting between these teams. For South Carolina, that tied a season high. Boston out there right now, Rebecca, with Sanaya Rivers, who has been really impressive running the offense off the bench.
Yes, South Carolina fans have to love what they have seen from Sanaya Rivers. She's a phenomenal athlete, really smooth, a great passer. Dawn Staley says she's by far their best passer.
This is the #3 overall recruit in the nation. South Carolina, the top recruiting class, added to a team that didn't lose anybody. Hall will fire, no. Boston flags it down, trying to save it. Kentucky able to control, spinning away from traffic. Jada Walker up to Howard, trying to take Rivers. Howard able to finagle into a whistle, and Rhyne Howard's going to shoot two.
Yeah, on that last score by South Carolina, Jasmine Massengale just gets lost. She was in the trap, but if you notice, she's behind. Bree Beal is wide open here. She's got to clear. Dre Edwards has to release. There has to be a little more communication and rotation out of the trap. Really like the trap from Kentucky, but the rotations have to be there.
And what you also see, Andrea, is they don't have high enough hands.
Yep.
If the defenders have their hands up, it just makes the vision and the ability to deliver the pass that much more difficult.
Well, you see in the season series, South Carolina with more paint points than Kentucky has total points. As Howard misses the first free throw. First free throws of the game for Kentucky.
Howard did a really nice job on the drive. She just nudged her shoulder a little bit into Rivers to get her off balance and therefore be able to get the foul call.
Missed both free throws. You know, it's so interesting thinking to this upcoming WNBA season, Rebecca. The draft in April is Walker just took a shot, a high screen, and she's shaken up. As the persistence from Grissett pays off, Walker's still shaken up, trying to walk it off. She was limited last game, went into concussion protocol, cleared it in time to play in this one, just took a tough screen. But I bring up the draft, Rebecca, to say, you know, if you think about Rhyne Howard on the Washington Mystics, that's a team that could end up being a championship contender, as Hall lays it in transition, getting free once again. And a timeout taken by Kentucky. It's a 22-8 South Carolina lead. And Bree Hall is doing work in transition right now for the Gamecocks.
All right, we also have maybe NC State up against the ropes a little bit. Ryan Ruocco, all that coming up at the half.
Ooh, looking forward to seeing that, Elle. Looking forward to seeing where NC State lands in the top 16 reveal at the half. Second edition of the top 16 reveal. You want Rhyne Howard on the bench at the moment. They were looking at her right hand, the projected #1 overall pick in this year's WNBA draft as Saxton finishes. Just heard Carolyn Peck talking about the points in the paint. All 24 of South Carolina's have been in the paint. Meanwhile, this has been a theme for Rhyne Howard. Against South Carolina, she has struggled mightily. A combined 4 for 25 over the last two, and now 1 for 3 thus far tonight.
And a lot of that is, you have to credit Bree Beal and the team defense and the way they have been able to focus on her when she has gotten touches.
Talking to Howard before the game about the challenge of South Carolina, and she said, they may be the best team in the nation, but I'm the best player in the nation. But she has really struggled thus far. Hey, check out the college basketball lineup on Saturday afternoon. Beginning at noon, Texas A&M takes on #1 Auburn, and then at 2, Florida State in Chapel Hill for an ACC matchup against UNC. College basketball Saturday at noon at 2 p.m. on ESPN and the ESPN app. But what's interesting, Rebecca, to go back to that WNBA draft conversation, is you could see her getting with a coach like Mike Tebow and a lot of other talented players, and it being a really nice fit if she was taken #1 overall in Washington.
Yeah, you mean if you're playing on the court with Elena Delle Donne and with Natasha Cloud and with Ariel Atkins, you're going to have more opportunity to play against just one defender instead of multiple.
Anderson, the get ahead. Beal couldn't finish it. Rebound snared by Massengill. Howard like she was in between a shot and a pass and chose the backboard instead. 0 points over the last 5 minutes for Kentucky.
Look at Aaliyah Boston working.
Boston from 18. Doesn't get the roll. Howard scoops up the rebound. The flick ahead. Massengill's leaner is good. A much-needed bucket for Kentucky. After going 5+ minutes, they end the 10-0 run.
Massengill's like, yeah, I see a shot blocker. I'm not getting in there. I'm going to float this one right up there.
And a nice lead feed from Howard, which Coach Elsie raves about the passing ability of Rhyne Howard.
And you heard Nikki Fargas talk about changing things up defensively, and she would play a pack line defense. Well, now Kentucky in a zone, and that's what you want to do. You are happy if Bree Beal is taking a 3-point shot if you're Kentucky.
Treasure hunt, found some gold, and then traveled.
Rhyne Howard's got handles, and she is a very good passer, makes the right decision here, and another right decision. Masengill, float that thing up there, because if you take one more dribble, Aaliyah Boston's going to block it.
4:30 to go in this first half, and Kentucky has just 10 points. South Carolina's D doing exactly what it does. All of South Carolina's points in the paint. They're 0 for 7 outside of it. Off the steal. Walker able to finish, plus the foul. The gritty Jada Walker with a chance for 3.
And that's one of those turnovers that frustrates Dawn Staley. It was just a lazy pass, and a great job getting the hands up there, and then a tough finish here. Not afraid of the physicality. Here, goes right into the defender so she can get the and one opportunity.
Well, Kyra Elsie just raved about Jada Walker to us before the game. Said she is as tough as it gets, just a fearless competitor. She was really unhappy with the way she performed in the first meeting against South Carolina. Took it to heart, and this morning texted her head coach redemption. Excited about the opportunity to play against the Gamecocks again. Nice hands by Howard, got in there, loose ball. Shot clock down to 1, make it 2. I swear it was about to go to 1. And a held ball. It's going to be Kentucky possession.
And the zone is working. The zone for Kentucky has done a really nice job limiting the interior for South Carolina. All right, now got Gamecocks. Let's see what you got from the perimeter.
Well, overall, you have to be pretty happy with the defensive performance if you're Kentucky in this first half.
Yeah, South Carolina shooting 38%, only 24 points so far.
Here's Benton. Benton gives it up. Edwards trying to find some space. 5 to shoot. Over to Howard, short. I don't know if Beal got a piece of it. You know, the offensive game can look effortless from Howard, but some of her attempts have looked like they don't have enough on them, and you know, she does have that right hand wrapped. Something to watch as another near turnover from South Carolina.
South Carolina's offensive flow has not been there the last few possessions. Dawn Staley clearly a bit frustrated.
I love talking to Dawn Staley a couple weeks ago, Rebecca, about the turnovers, and she said, you know, I tell our team, just make sure you get it on the rim as they turn it over again. She said, because we get it on the rim, we're probably going to get an offensive rebound.
Yeah, about 50% of the time.
Right. She was almost joking like you're better off chucking it up from 30 feet than you are turning it over. (24-12), South Carolina lead. 2:25 to go in this first half. Howard with the shot clock fading. Howard will fire, and it's hit from 3. There it is.
That's where she's really good in the two-man game. When she can come off a screen, she does not need much space. 6'2", high release.
A 7-0 Kentucky run to make it a single-digit game. Still time to carve closer before the half. Kentucky looking for a win to spring them through the stretch of their SEC season and make them a potentially viable tournament team. This would be that win.
And this is what excites WNBA GMs right there. I mean, there's so much on-ball action at the next level, and she comes off one step, a little bit of space, and she can drain it.
South Carolina held scoreless over the last 5+ minutes at Kentucky's zone working.
Yeah, and Saxton that time had position, and it was the right idea by Destiny Henderson. She just couldn't deliver the pass.
Massagill on the attack, can't lay it home. Well, that was such a point of emphasis to us from Kyra Elzy, finishing looks at the rim. As Dawn Staley's going to take a timeout. South Carolina nearly turned it over again. And Dawn wants to talk it over with her group. Hey, there is a great lineup of SEC men's college basketball on the SEC Network Saturday. Beginning at noon, Arkansas, who's fresh off an 80-76 win over #1 Auburn, takes on an Alabama team desperate for a conference win. SEC men's basketball Saturday at noon on SEC Network and the ESPN app.
Can I talk about some Sunday basketball?
Yeah, please do.
I think it's at noon. We've got South Carolina and Georgia.
Nice.
We got Louisville playing.
Yeah.
We got a couple of really good games on ESPN and ESPN2 on Sunday. Like, whet your appetite before the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah. I love watching Sunday hoops before the Super Bowl.
I do.
No, I'm being serious.
Okay.
It sounded like I was using a questionable tone, but I'm being serious. That's part of my tradition.
Okay.
No points the last 5:36 for South Carolina. That won't end the string. Rebound. Look at the fight from Walker, and she's fouled. Kentucky off the bench to celebrate the gritty effort from the 5'7" freshman Jada Walker.
Yeah, she's a little dog, and I say that with nothing but admiration. Every team needs at least one, if not multiple players who are willing to fight, and she shows it right here. You can see why Coach is so excited about her potential.
Kentucky's done a nice job the end of this half to claw back in. Down single digits. Can they creep closer? Benton trying to shake Cook. Benton threw it up, didn't get the whistle, and it's out of bounds to South Carolina.
Rhyne Howard's frustrating, talking to the officials that she is getting held. Yeah, it looks to me like just two players who tripped. Did you see it differently?
Maybe. I thought perhaps Benton was tripped.
Okay.
You know, it's good when we do that, Rebecca. We satisfy both fan bases. Nobody can hate the broadcast team in its entirety.
Oh, they'll still hate us now.
In the corner, Henderson can't hit the three. Rebound on the strong side from Walker.
But much better ball movement, though, by South Carolina. They just couldn't convert.
Beautiful setup from Walker to Edwards. It's a 9-0 Kentucky run and a 7-point game.
You get open looks when you get touches in the paint, and that's what Walker got off of dribble penetration.
Shot clock turned off. South Carolina has missed its last 6 shots. Henderson bounces in to the reverse, won't go. Boston's putback is good, plus the foul. That's a big bucket for South Carolina, ending a 6-minute and 52-second scoreless drought.
And they get the ball in the short corner, and Grissett takes it strong, and that's what you want to do. Get the ball up on the rim where Aaliyah Boston can go get it. The last 2 offensive possessions for South Carolina, much better ball movement side to side, much better attack, and they get fruit from it here.
8 points, 9 rebounds for Aaliyah Boston. Can't hit the free throw. Rebound, flag down by Walker. 2 seconds left. Walker chucks it, and that'll do it for the first half. Kentucky able to battle back, make it a single-digit deficit at the half. They ended on a 9-2 run. All of South Carolina's 26 points coming in the paint. Remember, top 16 reveal coming up at the half in our studio. Let's check in with Andrea Carter.
Coach Staley, before that Aaliyah Boston bucket, Kentucky was on a 9-0 run. How did they gain momentum towards the second quarter?
Yeah, I mean, we're turning the basketball over. We got to make better decisions with the ball. We got to put people in positions to score where they're best, and we're not doing that.
When you talk about putting people in positions to score, what's effective against that zone?
We have to move the ball. I mean, we can get high-low. We can get the backside of the zone. We're just not seeing it. We're making our minds up with what we're going to do with the ball before we're allowing the defenses to speak to what should happen.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
9-point game at the half. Time to send things out. Elle Duncan, Carolyn Peck, Nikki Fargas, and Charlie Cream in the studio going to give us our top 16 reveal.
And as you see, it is a tight one. We will definitely keep you updated. Uzi, hello, and welcome to the Jeep Halftime Report. I'm Elle Duncan alongside Charlie Cream, Nikki Fargas, Carolyn Peck. We've got to get to the exclusive reveal. We've been teasing it. Let's give the people what they want. The second reveal of the NCAA tournament, and here we go. Still in there, despite losing 2 games since the last reveal. Oregon at 16, Texas falls considerably to 15. It's been a tough stretch for Texas. Notre Dame at 14, making an appearance now on the top 16, and LSU coming in at 13. Let's get to number 12. It's Tennessee. Obviously, they fell quite a bit. They were a 1 seed. They were 4th the last time we had this reveal. They've fallen to 12. UConn stays at 11. Baylor coming in at 10 with Oklahoma. They weren't even on the initial reveal, coming in at number 9. We move on. Indiana at 8, Iowa State at 7, Arizona at 6, and Michigan at 5 for now, although Michigan State giving them a run for the money as well. Their backs against the wall. Much more on that if the upset is in fact pulled. And finally, your top 4, your number 1 seeds, Louisville at 4, NC State again, who are right on the verge of losing to Boston College at 3, Stanford sitting at 2. Maybe the least surprising news of all time, South Carolina remaining as the top seed. So I'll start with you, Charlie. When you look at those top 4 seeds, who do you think is the most vulnerable?
Well, maybe NC State with tonight, although they've taken a 3-point lead now. Actually, though, I think even if Boston College comes back and wins this game, then NC State is still a number 1 seed. They have 7 net top 25 wins, and the best competition that they have, Michigan and Arizona for another number 1, aren't even close to that number. Louisville moved up to that number 1 line, replacing Tennessee, who you mentioned has struggled, lost 3 of 4, and fell back to the number 12 overall spot. Louisville's vulnerable to Michigan and Arizona, but they just keep chugging along. The way they play defense, the way they get after teams second, third, fourth quarters, and their schedule, the way it lines up, it's not too difficult the rest of the way. So I'm not really sure the Cardinals are all that vulnerable, because I honestly feel like they're probably going to run the table to the ACC tournament.
I want to talk about a couple of the teams that we just mentioned, Carolyn Peck, that are sort of making their ascension, if you will, that being Notre Dame and Oklahoma. What did you think about the placement of Oklahoma going from not even on the initial reveal all the way up to 9?
Well, I thought Oklahoma should have been in the initial reveal. When you look at, they had a win against South Dakota. They had a win over BYU. They had a win over Utah. And I think because of that, then they just kind of put an exclamation stamp on it and said, well, we're going to go out and we're going to beat Texas and we're going to beat Baylor. Now, they play Texas this weekend, so we're going to see. But this is a team that likes to score the ball. They are second in the country in points per game, and they got a player that, Nikki, I know you love, in Taylor Robertson. Quick trigger, let her shoot it.
Well, if I was any kid that was trying to learn how to shoot the basketball, I am watching Taylor Robertson, her ability to get the 3-ball off. She's one of those scorers that they're in every game because of her ability to score. She's one of those players that, you know, you look at her and you're just thinking, wow, like, can I really guard her? And then next thing you know, she's coming off of flare screens, she's coming off of ball screens, and you better be defensively trying to scheme against her.
Well, the thing that Oklahoma has is, yes, they can shoot to 3, but they also have the ability to get to the free throw line. Maddie Williams attacks the glass. And you talk about late game, Jennifer Baranchek, she is one of the best at, if Oklahoma can keep it close, she gives her chance to win, and more times than not, they have.
Talking about those stars that are sort of rising, let's go there with Notre Dame, who is on the top 16 reveal for the first time. Michigan rising as well, despite what's happening right now against Michigan State. Who would you say his ceiling is higher?
Well, Notre Dame, I think, has a pretty high ceiling. You mentioned them. I love Olivia Miles. I think she's one of the top 20, 25 players in the country. Leads the country, or did lead the country in assists until Caitlin Clark surpassed her. But she's right there. She's going to be a star in the next few years. And Notre Dame has some opportunities here in the coming weeks to creep even higher up on this board. That win over NC State is really what's done it. It really will put them in the top 16. They wouldn't be there without it, because the committee is really valuing high-quality wins. How many do you have, and who are those teams that you beat? And when you beat a team that's on the one line, you're going to elevate.
Okay, my SEC Georgia bias is going to show here, but for the Bulldogs fans that are watching and saying, okay, but Oregon lost 2 since this last reveal. We beat a ranked team and lost to an unranked team and find ourselves out of it. I asked the committee that exact question, and they said Oregon passes the eye test. So we will leave it there. Charlie, one of the bigger things that happened, right, in that first reveal was that UConn was supposed to be, or at least at the time, was playing in Spokane. All is right with the world. We see UConn now seated appropriately playing in Bridgeport.
And this pretty much follows the S curve. Not exactly, but this committee has done a real good job, I think, of balancing the bracket and keeping teams close to where they're supposed to be via the S curve. And in this case, UConn does end up in Bridgeport as a result.
And there it is.
South Carolina, a 9-point lead on Kentucky. As we get ready to start the second half, we welcome you back courtside. Ryan Ruocco alongside the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo. Kentucky able to make it a single-digit game at the half. Early on, though, South Carolina was getting whatever they wanted in the paint.
Yeah, it was where they scored all of their points. All 26 points for South Carolina were inside, and it wasn't just their bigs posting up. They were able to get out in transition. They were able to get touches inside. Just a phenomenal job of getting the ball where they wanted to. Here in transition, running the floor, finishing, an easy 2, no defenders there. Then a nice little pass inside, a great job by Beal, pump fake, another clean look, and then even when it was a little bit congested, Aaliyah Boston doing a terrific job getting the second opportunity, just terrific inside. And what changed for Kentucky those last 5 minutes? They went from man to zone, and that clogged up the lane and made things much more difficult for South Carolina.
For a little more on that, let's check in with Andrea Carter.
Well, Rebecca, you're absolutely right. That zone defense, I talked with Kentucky's head coach Kyra Elzy about their zone, and she said she was very happy with their first shot defense. She said she was happy with their rotations, the way they bumped, the way they're communicated, and the way they didn't overextend, but they have to box out of the zone. That's their biggest emphasis in this second half.
And they do it right there. They do it right there. And South Carolina gets Aaliyah Boston the basketball, not just going to settle for outside shots against the zone, and Kentucky able to get the defensive board.
Howard travels and Kentucky turns it over. Kentucky has lost 7 of 8 games. They were ranked 21st back on January 9th. Now on the outside looking in when it comes to the tournament. Kyra Elzy has talked to her team about if we could finish 6-2. That was the message before the Texas A&M game. They lost in overtime. Now it's, hey, if we could finish 6-1, we're going to find a path to the tournament. Obviously a tough challenge here tonight against the top team in the nation, but in the game as we begin the second half.
And one of her overall messages, Ryan, was finishing. She said we have to finish in the paint offensively. We have to finish our defense by getting those defensive boards that Andrea was talking about, and then finish games. When things are close late, we have to find a way to win.
South Carolina, 11 offensive rebounds, but the majority of those came right out of the gate. Here's Walker. Made an impact. Massengill on the attack. The floater won't go. Boston secures the rebound. Aaliyah Boston with her 10th board to go with 8 points, closing in on her 16th straight double-double.
Really good activity in that zone here to start the third quarter as well. High hands, active feet, good communication from Kentucky.
Henderson working around the Saxton screen. Here is Cook, gets free and lays it in. First points of the game for Zia Cook, and Dawn Staley talks about how she is really a barometer for them getting unlocked offensively. When she gets going, they get going, especially early in the game. Massengill throws it away as Kentucky turns it over again.
Zia Cook likes to drive right, but here, very comfortable, exploding to the left as well. Now, last possession for Kentucky, Massengill, after she made the pass, put her hands up and was frustrated. That's not your post player's fault. You cannot throw the ball behind your post player. You have to lead her to the basket. You know I'm always going to stick up for the post.
Well, I was going to say, do you want to say the guard that reminds you of?
No.
That three rattles in. Zia Cook.
And that's the order of things, right? To get yourself going, you get to the paint first, get an easy finish, which she did on the prior possession, feel the ball, see the ball go in, and then start looking for your perimeter game.
So first points outside of the paint for South Carolina in this game. Rhyne Howard out of the game right now for Kentucky as Owens lays it in. Here's Cook free again. Not that time. Boston the putback, and Aaliyah Boston has her 16th straight double-double.
That was miscommunication by Kentucky. Some players looked like they were in zone. Some players looked like they were in man. It resulted not only in a wide open look, but an offensive board.
Boston comes up with a block. It last hit Kentucky, and it's going to be South Carolina basketball.
As I'm looking at this screen, if Robin Benton drives hard and attacks and draws the help of Aaliyah Boston, she's going to get it. She has to drive and attack hard the spacing of Kentucky. That's what's a little bit off so far on their offense.
A couple more dribbles, right, Drea, and pull the defender out.
Yeah, and you have to go full speed. Aaliyah Boston is too smart of a defender. If she sees you going half speed, she's not going to buy it. She's going to stay in the paint.
Rejected. Howard denying Beal after Beal had shed Walker.
Nice job by Rhyne Howard to block the shot, but you know what I'd like to see after that? Go and give your hand to Jada Walker and help her up. Not a single one of her teammates went over there. I mean, she's working really, really hard. Here she goes again.
Coming up with a steal. Walker gets rejected by Saxton. Walker stays with it. Walker with Boston switched on her. We love the ability of Boston to hang with guards on the perimeter. Shot clock down to 3. Look at Boston hanging with Walker the whole way. Then Howard was able to get it on the rim and create another opportunity here for Kentucky. That was an incredible rejection from Boston, though.
That's one of those blocks. Sometimes I'm watching film of Aaliyah Boston, I see her block a shot, I just have to start laughing. Because it's just ridiculous. It's like when my kids were little and we'd be playing on a Nerf hoop, and just sometimes when you feel like it, you just block it, you know?
Yeah. Henderson hits the runner, and South Carolina dominating early action in this third. The lead is back up to 16.
Aaliyah Boston continues to work on the offensive end. She continues to work on the offensive glass. Here is another double-double for Aaliyah Boston, and then just go get it. Just go get it. That's what I'm talking about, Ryan.
A person that is a part of Black history that inspires me is someone I see on a daily basis, which is Coach Staley. She continues to show me that she will speak up for what she feels is right and what is on her heart, and she will leave nothing left behind.
We love hearing that answer from Bree Beal, talking about her coach, Dawn Staley, and our absolutely incredible producer, Kerry Callahan, asked Coach about that at shoot-around this morning, and Coach Staley said, you know, that's the way it's supposed to be. Said, I tell all these young women, there are no better examples you're going to find than the person who's lacing up their shoes next to you. You really have all these incredible examples right here in your teammates. And so that's, part of the culture she wants to set and is setting and has set at South Carolina.
She said, look at the players around you, their grit, their journeys, their stories.
For more storytelling, stream the Black History Always collection on ESPN+. It has been just incredible watching Caitlin Clark, who's averaging over 27 points per game, leading Division I. She's averaging over 35 in her last 5 games. She had 46 points and 10 assists Sunday at Michigan. Hit a couple of logo bombs. Rebecca, she's doing things we have not seen in women's college basketball.
Yeah, and she's been doing this the last few games while Iowa's been dealing with a couple starters. What a pass by Rhyne Howard, really well done. But a couple Iowa starters have been out because of injury, and if that's the case, you need somebody to step up their scoring. It might as well be Caitlin Clark.
Maryland, Iowa, 9 Eastern on ESPN2 Monday.
Ashley Owusu, the terrific point guard from Maryland, day to day. She has not played since she injured her ankle a week ago.
Shot clock down to 3. Cook in the corner, no. Loose ball secured by Massengill. Here comes Kentucky with numbers. The 3 off the mark from Walker, and Henderson quickly up the floor for the Gamecocks.
That was a really good defensive rebound by Henderson. She's a very good rebounding guard.
Henderson wanted it back on the right wing, was wide open. Instead, it's Hall who gets smothered out of bounds. Hey, NBA Saturday primetime is on the West Coast this weekend. LeBron and the Lakers in the Bay Area to take on Steph Curry and the Warriors. And you know what? Steph Curry, he looks a lot like Caitlin Clark. How about that?
That's the right way to phrase it too there, Ryan.
I mean, uncanny similarity there. That Warrior-Laker game countdown begins at 8. Then it's Lakers-Warriors, 8:30 Eastern on ABC and the app. That's NBA Saturday primetime this weekend.
And if you're a post player, you can watch LeBron and you can watch Steph, but man, watch Aaliyah Boston and how hard she works every possession to get a touch. And then she gives the ball back up at times, posts up hard again. That was beautiful right there.
And then finishes plus the foul.
Yeah, I mean, but she is really, really good at fighting and working. And if she doesn't get the ball the first time, she doesn't give up. She continues to fight and to work. And here she does get the basketball, knows which shoulder to turn to, finishes, just goes about her business, no excessive celebration. Like, all right, I'll just go to the free throw line now.
She has been so consistent, too, all season long, game in, game out. You know exactly what you're getting from Aaliyah Boston.
A double-double.
Yep, well, that's for sure. Take a look at her season averages.
Talking, smart, good job. I mean, you're the back line of the defense right now in the press. Tell your players where they need to be.
13 points, 13 rebounds for Boston. Kentucky does not have a quarter in which they've scored double-digit points yet. 8 in the first, 9 in the second, just 4 here in the third. Henderson scrapes it away on the break, throws it at the feet of Brissett, out of bounds. Kentucky basketball.
The right idea. And Destiny Henderson gets to another defensive board because of her quickness. And the one place you can't catch the basketball is when it's at your feet. But it was the right idea, so you live with that.
I think Dawn Staley, being the great point guard that she was, made those missed opportunities on passes in transition, they probably hit a little harder.
I'll tell you what, I played with Dawn for a year with the national team, and she never threw the ball at anybody's feet.
Oh, bank it in, why don't you, Olivia Owens? A chance for 3.
Nice little dribble, get a touch in the paint, then pass it. There's no foul to speak of there. But good job by Owens to bank it in.
Owens spent 2 years at Maryland before coming to Kentucky. This is the free throw, and Boston has her 14th rebound. Sanaya Rivers into the game for South Carolina, working with some haste on this set, and it pays off with Grosset.
How about how well Lily Grosset has used the rim to finish on the other side? She's done a really good job of that here today.
Well, we're seeing South Carolina's depth, right? We talked about it earlier. They do not have Letitia Mihir. They do not have Camila Cardoso coming off a really strong performance last time out, Cardoso. But they're so deep that they can just keep going to the well and bringing out real contributors.
Just really nice passing, a nice fake Henderson, and then here, using the other side of the rim. It's a great way to protect yourself from getting your shot blocked, is to go to the other side.
South Carolina's bench has really picked it up over the last few games.
Yeah, they've been a little bit more quiet here today, Ryan, but the last 4 they have been terrific. And it's been one of the most noticeable things watching South Carolina is the contributions they are now getting from their bench that they weren't getting earlier in the season.
Hall couldn't finish it, loose ball, Howard after it, Howard knocks it out of bounds, last hit South Carolina. That looked like it last hit Ryan Howard. Let's see. Officials will confer.
Don's like, I'm holding the ball until you change your call.
Yeah, it's going to be South Carolina basketball. Dawn Staley coached Ryan Howard with Team USA. Those two have a great relationship.
Yeah, that's up for Ryan Howard. But Dawn's still holding the ball. She's still got the ball under her arm over there on the side.
Finally, she just didn't want any more feet at any more passes than anybody's feet.
Right, that's right.
Rivers, no, had to get it up there with the shot clock fading. And Walker stepped out of bounds. Kentucky gives it back.
I've been really impressed with Walker in this game. Just to her grit, how hard she's playing, Jada Walker, you know, especially for a freshman. Carter Elsie has to be thrilled with what the future holds for that young woman.
Loose ball foul going to go against Bree Hall after Grosset was unable to finish the layup. Well, Kyra Elsie was talking to us about understanding the kind of player she wants to coach and getting a feel for that, and knowing that, you know, she wants the Jada Walkers of the world with that real obvious competitive fire.
You can live with mistakes as long as your team is competing. You just want them every possession to be competing.
Emma King into the game for Kentucky. King tried to squeeze it into Owens. Still plenty of time to operate. Owens barges in and gets whacked on the wrist. Free throws coming here for Olivia Owens.
Nice job by Kentucky that time handling South Carolina's pressure as well. Getting trapped, being patient, making the right decisions.
I mean, if you look at this game thus far, Rebecca, by and large, defensively, if you were Kentucky and you say, hey, you're going to hold South Carolina around 40 points through 3 quarters, you say, okay, yeah, you know, I'll take that. But it's just South Carolina's defense is so absurdly suffocating. Kentucky has 6 points this quarter. They don't have a single quarter where they've scored double digits. It's just amazing. We showed you that graphic before, how teams over the last 7 games are basically averaging around 23, 24 points per game, less than their scoring average on the season against South Carolina, and we're seeing it again today.
And South Carolina continues to be relentless on the glass. You know, 15 more field goal attempts than Kentucky has in this game.
About an 8-second difference. Game and shot clock here at the end of the third. Rivers with some space, leans in. Couldn't swoop it home. Saxton, another offensive rebound for South Carolina. Saxton can't finish. Owens able to secure. Here's Walker, out and galloping. Walker can't get it to go, but draws the whistle and is going to go to the line.
Last possession, though, South Carolina, Victoria Saxton sets a great screen, and it gives Rivers an opportunity to get the shot up, and then she gets to the offensive glass. She's one of the players who just works and works and works, and it might not always show up in the box score. We talked about this in the Ole Miss game. She just had some possessions where she had terrific box outs that allowed her teammates to get the defensive board. She's the kind of player you need when you're surrounded by, you know, a superstar in Aaliyah Boston and a scorer in Zia Cook who's just going to do all the other stuff.
I love the phrase Dawn Staley used about Saxton with us last year. Low maintenance, high performance.
It's what we all want in a relationship.
That's right. You husbands, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends at home, you think about whether or not you can really attach yourself to that label. And if you can't,
work on it.
It's time for reevaluation. Saxton finds Grissett. Grissett beats the buzzer. What a beautiful possession to end the third quarter for the top team in the nation. They'll take a 16-point lead to the fourth.
More than 50% of South Carolina's buckets are assisted here today, and this is one of them. Unselfish, nice finishing, more points in the paint.
All right, Al, very interesting. And Michigan have been playing so well of late. We saw the top 16 reveal at the half, and Spokane region, Bridgeport region. You see NC State and Michigan both in that Bridgeport region. On the attack, Cook banks it in to begin the fourth quarter. Rhyne Ruocco, Rebecca Lobo, Andrea Carter. Appreciate you hanging out with us for our Thursday showcase here on ESPN. It's almost March, you know?
That is true.
Like February has less days, so we're even closer to March.
Does it? Yeah, a couple, right? Rhyne Howard back in the game. She's played 25 minutes. She has 5 points on 2 for 7 field goals. I was really looking forward. This will be my first time this season watching her play in person, and it's been underwhelming.
Saxton gets fouled by Edwards. Let's check in with Andrea Carter.
Well, I just want to go back. We've talked about the impact of Aaliyah Boston, but it's not just block shots. When you watch this play, Jasmine Massengill could attack Aaliyah Boston here and then get a dump-off pass to Olivia Owens, but instead, because of the presence of Aaliyah Boston and just seeing her, she ends up backing it out, passing it out. That's what happens when Aaliyah Boston is on the floor.
She's a terrific defender, and what impresses me, Andrea, and kind of the evolution of her game, too, is when on-ball screens happen on the perimeter, she can switch out on guards, and rarely are they able to get by her, especially at her size. There she goes and gets the offensive board. You would not think that she could play defensively on the perimeter the way she does.
Wow, my goodness. Rivers just spun at a 10 of 10 when it comes to velocity, and will shoot 2 free throws.
I really, really enjoy watching her play. I'm sure Dawn Staley does too.
Yeah.
But you look at her and you just think, in a few years, this is a talent that translates to the WNBA without question.
Let's take a look at all of the former McDonald's All-Americans on the South Carolina roster. Yeah, 11 of them.
So all we have to do is look around. When you say take a look,
yeah, let's take a look at
scan the court.
Who's in a uniform for South Carolina. Rivers was the 3rd overall recruit. Remember, the number 2 overall recruit in the nation, Raven Johnson, out for the season with a knee injury suffered early on. Massengill, no.
Ooh.
I like that rebound.
Oh, my goodness.
Kyra Elsie told us we're going to have to really, really shoot it well if we're going to win tonight. And Kentucky 1 for 7 from 3 and 29% from the floor.
Look at that rebound. She's got a player on her back. That's when you just go up and snatch it.
You know what that looks like?
What does that look like?
Low maintenance,
high performance.
And one of the other things that Dawn Staley's talked about in regard to Victoria Saxton is that she's like the mother of the group. She's the leader in the room. And when you have someone who is low maintenance and has those qualities, I mean, what a perfect fit surrounded by so much prime talent.
Just goes about her business. Day in, day out, gets it done.
Rhyne Howard buries the 3. Second 3 of the game for Howard. Second 3 of the game for Kentucky.
Really good defense, too, by Aaliyah Boston. Rhyne Howard just able to hit it.
Here's Cook creeping in, reversing it home. Zaya Cook.
All right, so let's see it again. Let's run an on-ball screen for Rhyne Howard, see if the defense changes the way they're guarding it, see if she can adjust.
Howard just standing in the corner. Here's Walker. Gets surrounded. Kentucky able to make something of it. Leveretter will shoot 2.
South Carolina has just done a great job. We've seen it multiple times. We've seen it from Lily Grissett, and here we see it from Zaya Cook, just finishing on the other side of the rim. That was over her head, over her shoulder. Great finish. But like on this end of the floor,
yeah,
run the on-ball screen again for Rhyne Howard, and then even if she's going to draw so much defensive attention, then she can find an open teammate, or she can figure out how to score. And you know, terrific efficiency by South Carolina in the paint. I just want to. You want to see more from Rhyne Howard. She's so gifted. She's so talented. You just came down and scored. Just call the play for yourself and do it again.
Yeah, how much of it, Rebecca, is Howard insisting upon going and getting the basketball, and then her teammates, you know, making sure that they get it to her?
It's a balance of the two.
Yeah. Russell in the corner. No, Massengill the rebound. Pressure hunt. Can't hit the 3. Rivers the rebound. Kentucky still hasn't had a quarter where they've scored 10 points. They have time for it here in the 4th. As Cook will work her way to the line.
She's been really aggressive here, right? Last few possessions, Zaya Cook, nice job.
42 of South Carolina's 46 points have come in the paint thus far. Hey, coming up next on ESPN, number 3 Purdue takes on Michigan in a Big Ten matchup. The Boilermakers are tied atop of the conference standings, while the Wolverines hoping to finish better than 500. Big Ten college basketball tonight, 9 Eastern on ESPN. Streaming live on the ESPN app. Here's Walker, who's just 1 for 8, but has impressed with her feist and relentlessness. 7 rebounds despite being 5'7". Walker trips and travels as Kentucky gives it away.
I think the 3rd consecutive possession where Rhyne Howard spent most of the time in the corner and didn't get a touch.
$14 turnovers now for Kentucky. Rivers elevates. Saxton tosses it out. Russell gets fouled, and Anaya Russell is going to shoot 2. 18 offensive rebounds now for South Carolina.
I want a highlight package of just Victoria Saxton.
Yeah.
Boxing out, rebounding, setting screens, keeping the ball alive, diving on the floor.
I want to put you on the spot.
No.
You look at this South Carolina team. They're so good. And they've had a nearly flawless regular season thus far. They are just pounding opponents at this point. For you, is there an obvious biggest challenger to them when it comes to March Madness?
I go back to Stanford. Stanford was the team that played them so tough. Stanford, because to beat South Carolina, I think you have to be able to shoot from the perimeter. And you have to have multiple bodies, multiple big bodies you can throw at them. Nice take by Rhyne Howard. I love the aggressiveness. And Stanford has that. And they're a really good defensive team in their own right. So I think you go back to, to the team other than Missouri, of course, who beat them, who's given them the biggest challenge.
Howard able to save it. Beautifully done by Howard, and Walker lays it in. Well, you talk about Stanford posing a challenge to South Carolina. You just saw they're the only team to out-rebound them in the last 55 games. As Howard gets called for the foul here, but a nice save moments ago from Rhyne Howard.
Let's see it. Let's see these bursts of energy just a little bit more consistently. Beautifully done. She kept it alive and threw it to the correct end of the court so her teammate could go get it. And I love here, they called it a foul, but active, trying to get her hands on the basketball. Show us the life. Show us it consistently.
South Carolina in the bonus. They'll go to the line. Of course, you remember Stanford and South Carolina just put a bow on that, playing that epic semifinal game last year with Aaliyah Boston's tip just hitting back rim. And you know South Carolina wants a chance to avenge what was a heartbreaking finish a season ago. 15-point Gamecock lead. Walker, no. Walker now, 2 for 10. Treasure hunt, landed in her lap. King, sure.
It landed in her lap, though, because Rhyne Howard kept it alive with her hands.
13-point game. Kentucky putting some pressure on South Carolina. 11 points in the quarter for Kentucky, most they've had tonight. Still a lot of time left. Cook finds the cutter. Rivers couldn't put down the bunny, but did get foul and will shoot 2. Zia Cook scoreless in the first half. Not the case in the second. 10 points all in the second half for Zia Cook, the junior guard. When she gets going, South Carolina gets going. Oh, yeah. Oh, there's been a fun coach's challenge going around. Trick shots galore. Dawn Staley. Oh, off the window from the stand to Dia Barnes. Oh, yeah. I see you, Dawn. I could do it as well. And the dance, too. Then Dawn says, all right, watch this. Bouncing in a 3. But Nikki Collin at Baylor going to bounce in from downtown also. Corey Close, yeah, she's got it. Love the coach's challenge going around.
You know what it reminds me of? You remember the McDonald's commercial with Michael Jordan and Larry Bird? Reminds me of that.
Today, Dawn Staley taking a page out of the Super Bowl. Oh, yeah. Snapping it in. How about that?
We knew she had eyes in the back of her head when we watched her play, but she just knew it went in.
And then posing for the camera.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad you brought up those commercials because I find I reference those commercials probably more than any commercial I've ever seen in my life as Kentucky throws it away.
More than any other commercial you reference as you're referencing
just as I walk through life, yes. Off Saturn, off Jupiter, off backboard and in.
Super Bowl's coming, right? That's
Yeah.
why half people watch the game is for the commercials.
Might be time to revitalize that commercial.
Maybe.
Russell finds an angle. You know, South Carolina has still missed a lot of layups. That's been a point of emphasis for Dawn Staley all season long as Howard gets free and scores. Boy, when you see it, it looks so effortless. You just like to see more as Howard comes up with a steal off the inbound, and Rivers then takes it away. Oh, what a pass! Rivers to Russell, a dime in transition.
Delightful. It's going to be delightful to watch that young woman the next 3 years.
And maybe for a while after that.
You're right. Not maybe.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the Super Bowl. Let's see this one. Like head up, surveying what is open for me. I mean, just out of reach of Rhyne Howard. Just out of her reach. Delivered beautifully.
Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford hoping to have that accuracy on Sunday. Saved by Rivers, and then there, a 3 Kentucky player trap and a held ball. South Carolina has possession arrow, 3:21 to go. Gamecocks a 14-point lead.
Kentucky's shown some really nice life when they have been able to set up in the full court pressure.
You know, Rebecca, if they play, and Dawn Staley is fired up, if Kentucky plays with this sort of feist on the defensive end and grit, maybe it's not going to be enough today, but you'd think it would down the stretch here against some other opponents. And a whistle as Benton goes down and is in pain. She's missed the last 5 games with an ankle injury and grabbing down near that left ankle.
Ryan, you're talking about Kentucky defensively, and when they've been really good in previous years, that's what they've done. They picked up 94 feet, and they are limited this year because of injury. As you mentioned, Benton has missed some time with injury as well, so they just don't have the bodies to play that kind of style. Now she stepped on, on the foot.
And she is such a key player for Kentucky. Kyra Elsie was talking about the return of Benton with us and saying, great on-ball defender. She brings more scoring. One of our few guards who can create her own shot. Also can hit open looks when Rhyne Howard creates. They have missed her dearly, and it looks like she's injured the ankle again. Her head in her hands right now on the Kentucky bench. Howard able to get it over to Edwards. 3 won't go for Walker.
Nia Russell did a really nice job defensively and then with the box out so Brissett could corral the rebound.
Here's Cook turning on the Jets. Blocked inside by Leveretter. Here's Howard. She got it on a 3. It's an 11-point game. Rhyne Howard up to 15 points. 3 for 4 from downtown. Rivers all the way in. Blew another layup, but the putback is good.
Dawn Staley riding with her bench, too. You know, even as Kentucky has, made their way back in and forced some turnovers and that sort of thing. Just, all right, like, letting her young guys work through it.
Fegan on that putback. One of the interesting things Dawn talked about with us was how the starters have been championing the bench playing more minutes, which isn't always the case.
You know, as much as players want to play the entire 40 minutes, this point of the season when your body's feeling tired and a little banged up, it can be nice to get a little bit of rest during games.
Howard connects on another 3. Now you're seeing the tantalizing talent of Rhyne Howard. It's a 10-point game. South Carolina will, slow it down. Howard has the last 8 for Kentucky. Crowd has been looking for a reason to cheer. Finally have one, and are they going to call a foul here? That's not what you want to do right then if you're Kentucky.
Rhyne Howard's come alive here in the fourth quarter, and she has been known to do that throughout her career. Able to hit the three-point shots. 18 points now for Rhyne.
Rivers at the line. Misses the first. Now, you'd be okay if you're Kentucky maybe playing the foul game. They just waited a while there before fouling Rivers. She's 1 for 5 from the line so far tonight.
And South Carolina only 67% on the season from the line.
They miss both. Here it's Howard, an opportunity for Kentucky. The door is slightly ajar. Howard, you know she wants another look. Howard through the lane, banks it in, plus the foul. Rhyne Howard asserting herself down the stretch. The deficit can be shaved to 7.
So we've gotten to see what she can do when she does the pull-up off the on-ball screen, and here gets space and takes it all the way to the rim, uses her body really well to get the and-one opportunity. And now Dawn Staley saying, all right, I give the young guys a try.
Yeah.
Here come my veterans.
Can only stick with that for so long. And 15 points now in the fourth quarter on 6 of 7 shooting for Rhyne Howard as the starters come back in for South Carolina. Bree Hall stays out as well.
And would this be a different ball game if Rhyne Howard just had that spark lit a little bit sooner?
You know, Rebecca, I think that's huge because as we were talking to Kyra Elsie, she said her biggest thing that she tells Rhyne Howard is don't save yourself. I would rather take you out of the game but give your full effort from the very beginning. This could be a different ball game if she did that.
It's so true, Andrea. And that's why you see what she's doing in the fourth quarter and you think, oh, it could be so much different if you saw that motor all game. Now they're going to take a look and see whether or not this might have hit Boston last. It was ruled South Carolina basketball on the floor, but Rebecca, I think it may have hit Boston's hand last. I see that smile starting to come across your face like this is getting interesting here. Yeah, I mean, it hit Boston last.
Yep. And you wonder if Dawn Staley is going to be thinking to herself, you know, I should have come back with this crew a couple possessions earlier. You want to let your young guys learn, but at the same time, you don't want to give Kentucky this kind of life.
I think it hits the right hand of Boston there. And this will likely be Kentucky basketball down just 7. They've scored 22 points in the fourth. They scored 26 in the first 3 quarters combined.
The out-of-bounds call is reversed. It is white ball. The time on the clock is correct.
All right, Kentucky basketball.
And Kentucky with only 1 timeout left. This essentially works as a timeout for them, right? Kyra Elsie can draw up the play she wants them to run.
Fourth quarter, Kentucky a +9. They're on a 9-0 run. Rhyne Howard has the last 11 for Kentucky. Doesn't get the roll there. Saxton the rebound, and Henderson is fouled.
Great rebound by Victoria Saxton, and then smart by Kentucky to take the foul. We mentioned it. South Carolina only a 67% free throw shooting team. Might as well make this game as long as possible now.
South Carolina, a woeful 6 for 17 from the line in this game. Henderson, 74% on the season, hits the first. Henderson misses the second, but another offensive rebound.
I cannot tell you how many times Aaliyah Boston has done that this season, especially in late game situations where a rebound on a free throw is important. Either she corrals it herself or she tips it out to a teammate.
20 offensive rebounds for South Carolina.
Aaliyah Boston in close games. Here against Stanford, a huge possession. She keeps it alive. South Carolina ends up with the basketball. Here against LSU, another time where she gets the offensive rebound in very important, tight, close situations. Game-winning types of plays.
Brissett misses the free throw.
Treasure hunt, Rhyne Howard, you better sandwich Aaliyah Boston right here.
Yeah, we just saw exactly what can happen if this free throw is missed. And Brissett makes it, so they go 2 for 4 from the line on this trip down the floor. Here is Walker. Walker kicks. Oh, what a steal! And Anderson is shoved out of bounds. Destiny Anderson leaping to make the interception, and she'll go back to the line.
Destiny Henderson, wow. I mean, to get her balance. To catch, yeah, exactly.
It's a touchdown.
Yes. Both feet in. You have to both be in college, right? You can have one out in the NFL?
No, reverse.
Oh, the other way around, okay. Higher degree of difficulty once you get to the pros, right?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Another missed free throw. That one's good. A minute to go in this fourth quarter. 10-point game. Walker, they got to find a way to get it to Howard. Treasure hunt, flips it up, doesn't get the bank, will shoot 2. Kentucky struggled from the line as well in this game, 6 for 11. Bree Hall is going to check back in for South Carolina. You take a look at the difference for Kentucky's offense. I mean, it is just so stark what they've done in the fourth compared to the first 3. And the biggest reason why, Rebecca, is just Rhyne Howard
had the ball in her hands.
Exactly.
And she made sure to get open to have the ball in her hands.
Right. When we say that, that's not an exclusive indictment of her teammates. It's about her insistence and aggression as much as anything. Both free throws good. 8-point game. 53 seconds to go. Rhyne Howard, big second half.
I mean, she is so talented. 6'2", and if she has a little bit of space, she can hit the three-point shot. She is terrific in the two-man game, knowing when to step back and take threes, knowing when to take it to the rim herself. Such a tantalizing talent because of all those skills that she has.
11 points of the last 22 that Kentucky had scored. 16 points for Rhyne Howard in this fourth quarter. 6 of 8 from the floor. And so now Kentucky again trying to trap, come up with a steal, and if not, foul quickly.
Yeah. And that's why Dawn Staley took out Lily Grissett. She's not a good free throw shooter. She wants to make sure to have her best free throw shooters on the floor.
Boston surrounded, gets fouled. Aaliyah Boston, 78% free throw shooter.
You got to foul right away. Her back is to you. You're not going to steal the basketball from her.
Boston.
And now Lily Grissett coming back in the game for her defense and rebounding.
Boston 1 for 2 from the line tonight. South Carolina 9 for 23. That's 39%. Boston hits the first. 14 points, 15 rebounds, 16th straight, double-double.
Box her out.
Boston misses, and it's out of bounds. Look out. Grissett goes flying into multiple chairs.
And if Emma King didn't box out Aaliyah Boston the way she did, Boston would have gotten her hands on that basketball too. Nice job by Emma King.
Purdue, Michigan is coming up next year on ESPN. They're going to start on ESPN News for anyone looking for that game. We will get you there as soon as we can. Here's Howard. Howard doubled, gives it up. Treasure hunt. gets absolutely annihilated on the drive. 3 is short for Jada Walker. Hunt out to Howard. King, 28 seconds to go. Deflected by Boston, and that may just about do it. South Carolina gets it across the timeline. Henderson evades the contact. And at this point, Kentucky is going to watch South Carolina dribble it out. The Wildcats made it interesting down the stretch in this fourth on the back of Rhyne Howard. But South Carolina, a wire-to-wire victory in Lexington. Our final score, South Carolina 59, Kentucky 50.